So there is a lot of evidence that might suggest that Clancy is actually Blurryface or Nico's son. And there's not a lot of people talking about it, so I will be your fearless champion once again. I will be the trailblazer, and we're gonna dive into it today. This video was actually a request, and I kind of want to make that more of a thing, so if there is a question that's on your mind or you want me to analyze something or anything in general, please feel free to leave a comment. If I have anything to say about it, I might make a video on it, and the odds of that are very high because I have a lot to say about pretty much everything. I am a yapper. But yeah, I've gotten so many comments that my videos have helped beginner clickies or clickies who just don't really know the lore very well, and I want to continue to be helpful, so if there's anything I can do to help, just drop a comment. But yes, today we are going to talk about Clancy possibly being the son of Nico or just one of the bishops, but I'm pretty sure it's Nico. You can find the roots of this theory in a major theme that Tyler uses in his lyrics. Pretty much even at the beginning of 21 Pilots, there has been this theme of using father and son in the lyrics. Now, when I first heard these kind of lyrics, I was obviously thinking, oh, this is a religious connection. Father being God, Tyler being the son of God, so he calls himself son. And I think that's still true, but with what we got now, it seems like there's a double meaning, because there's always double meanings in 21 Pilots lore. Because if you look at Clancy's name, the actual name, Clancy, means son of red, ruddy warrior. I know Tyler Joseph. Okay, I know how this man's mind works. He would not have a name that fits so well and have it just be a coincidence. The red warrior in question could very well be the bishops who wear red cloaks. I don't know, I think it's just too fitting to be a coincidence. Now, people have actually caught on to this name meaning before, and there's been a lot of talks that the father might actually be Keon, since Keon seems so willing to help Clancy for some reason. But I think it's Nico. It has to be Nico. Blurryface is the focal point. He is the one that seems to be haunting Tyler the most. He makes the most sense when it comes to being the father.
You are the father!
Because if you think about what Blurryface is and what Tyler deals with and what the actual original meaning of father meant, it does kind of make sense. The whole idea of Blurryface is that he has all of these negative feelings inside as a person. Tyler has been very open in his lyrics that religion and faith is something that he struggles with. He has a lot of doubt in his faith sometimes. By calling Blurryface father, it might represent those insecurities and those doubts about his faith. So father and son still mean religious ties, but in the true 21 Pilots fashion, Tyler just made it literal to represent these things. Now, while father and son has been brought up in multiple 21 Pilots songs, I want to hone in on one specific lyric, and that is Overcompensate, where he says that he is the prodigal son. Now, once again, we have a Bible reference. This refers to a story of a son who basically gets all this money, he runs away from home, he spends it all, and then he comes back regretful, and he comes back welcomed by his father with open arms. Once again, too much of a coincidence to think that this means nothing. The story of this son is a lot like Clancy, somebody who ran away from home and is then coming back. The implications of this is interesting because the story talks about a son like being welcomed again, like a son being reckless and then finally coming home to like amend his ways. This could be a parallel to Clancy like in the beginning just wanting to run away from Dima and getting away from all of that, to then eventually wanting to defeat Dima and then coming back to actually face his problems. I also find it interesting that Clancy now wears red, a color that is associated with Dima, and not yellow like the Banditos. This could be a part of that like welcoming thing, or like accepting that this is how this is. And this is also why I think it's Nico, Blurryface in particular, because when Clancy comes home, when he comes back to Dima in the Paladin Straight music video, who does he go to? He goes right to Nico, much like the son who goes right to his father when he comes home. I don't know, I just don't think it's Keon's. Like, okay, yes, he's helpful, but like Blurryface just makes so much more sense. It also makes a lot of sense if Clancy is part bishop, or maybe full bishop. I don't know who the mom is in this equation. Why isn't there like a lot of girls in 21 Pilots lore? We have Sally, that's like it. Whatever. Anyways, it makes a lot of sense and answers some questions that we don't really know the answer for if Clancy is part bishop. It would explain why he is the exception. Because as Tyler explains in the I Am Clancy video, bishops are the only ones that can seize. If you don't know what seizing is, it's basically taking control over a body. This was a power that only the bishops had, but as we know now, Clancy is also able to seize. As of now, we don't really know why he's an exception, but if he was part bishop, bishop and technically a bishop, it would make sense that he has a power that only bishops have, and would also explain like seized Clancy. Now, I don't really know how to refer to this because I don't really think that he's seized, but I am referring to like the original Blurryface, something that fans have now referred to as seized Clancy, like Blurryface taking over. And that, of course, is the black neck, black hands, and red eyes when Tyler or Clancy fully becomes Blurryface. Now, it makes sense that he would be seized. I mean, that's the only kind of answer we have to somebody, a bishop, taking control over somebody else. But it really doesn't follow the rules, you know what I mean? First and foremost, Clancy is not dead. We thought he was dead, he's not dead. And we don't really know of an instance of a bishop being able to take control of a person who's alive. And also, Clancy is able to survive these seizings, and it's able to happen multiple times. The original seizing rules is that you can only do it for so long, and then afterwards, they're not with us anymore, and there's not really anything you can do about that. Also, Clancy's eyes are red, not orange. Obviously, this is not a regular seizing, this is like something else. And again, if he was part bishop and this was like part of his powers, it makes sense that he's an exception and why rules play a little bit differently with him. Maybe the red eyes and the paint represent like his full bishop mode, because it is a lot like the paint that we see on actual bishops, and you don't really see it with anybody else. So instead of seizing, maybe this is like full bishop potential. I don't know. Then there's the whole thing of Tyler always kind of showing himself as one of the bishops. During the live performance of No Chances, you can see Tyler up on this platform with the bishops in the background, and he's right in the middle, and there's 8 bishops in the back, making him the 9th one right in the middle. Also in Routines in the Night, you can see that there's 8 cloaks behind him, and Tyler once again right in the middle, maybe suggesting that once again he is the 9th bishop. Now, this could just mean that he is being seized again, like Blurryface is technically him using his body, so he would be Blurryface in this instance. Or it's kind of maybe nudging you and being like, maybe Clancy is a bishop. This might even mean that he is like Nico's heir, like he could be taking over after Nico. He would be the new Blurryface, hence why he is always in Blurryface's spot, and why Blurryface seems to be taking over. He might be the new quote-unquote Blurryface after Nico, which might explain why he's always in Blurryface's spot as Blurryface, and also why he has similar paint and red eyes. Maybe because he's not actually being seized, but maybe because he is actually becoming Blurryface. He is going to be the next bishop after Nico. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I just get on the internet and I say things. But yes, Clancy actually being part bishop actually explains a lot, and it implicates the relationship between Blurryface and Clancy so much. It's a Luke and Darth Vader situation, and I love it. And along with religious ties, you can also kind of represent this as like the relationship you have with mental health. Mental health is not something that you can escape. Much like a family member, you are tied to this thing in some way or another, and it's just learning to deal with that thing and manage with this thing in your life rather than completely getting rid of it. And man, do I know about having hard relationships with your father. It's tough out here, man, but that's not what the video is about. So what do you guys think? Do you kind of go along with this theory that Clancy is part bishop or maybe full bishop? We don't know. Personally, I think it makes a lot of sense rather than him being just like a regular person, because he's the exception after all. Again, if you guys have any requests, please feel free to comment, even if it's not 21 Pilots related. As long as it's music related, I'll make a video on it. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. As always, I will see you in the next one.